The common apothegm, Giant of Africa, often ascribed to Nigeria, is premised on its picturesque plains and naturally endowed states and local governments housed in each of the region of the country. One state, nonetheless, that possesses this ideal is Niger State in north-central Nigeria. As a state endowed with the immense natural resources, it has the largest land mass and remains a major contributor to the implementation of the national policy on food security in the country. Also embedded in the state are vast tracts of rich cultivable land, spanning about 10% of the country's total land mass. Niger State also prides itself with its surface and underground water resources, which abound in the state, coupled with its highly effective irrigation facilities designated for all year-round farming. This has always not been the case, as before now, the rural system in Niger State had been largely characterized by poor infrastructural development, inadequate access to basic amenities, and poor living conditions. Rural communities, where the majority of the population reside, have not had the desired attention for quality living and transformational development, which has left much to be desired. In this documentary, we are taking a closer look at the Raamp 2 and Raamp and their impact on the people of Niger State. We follow the journey of the project from its inception to the implementation and explore the challenges and successes along the way through interviews with key stakeholders, including government officials, project managers, rural community members. We gain insights into the transformative power of project and its potential to unlock the economic potential of Niger State. Join us as we delve into the story of the project and the people behind it. From the farmers who have seen their livelihoods transform to the project managers who are working tirelessly to ensure its success, we uncover the human stories behind the innovative project.
Before the intervention of Raamp in Niger State, the roads, especially those in the rural areas, were in a very poor condition, which hinders our commuters, almost impossible to access one community to another. In fact, they find it very difficult to access the nearest market, school, and some other socio-economic activities because the roads were not accessible.
To ease the movement of this produce for the farmers and also to support the farmers to get the best prices for their produce.
However, worried by the situation on the assumption of office in May 29, 2015, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Niger State, Alhaji Abubakar Sani Bello, unambiguously laid out the spirit and direction of his administration to address these issues head-on. First on his to-do list was rural transformation, rehabilitation, and construction of rural roads and river crossings. To ensure effective execution of policies on rural development, the state government, in collaboration with the federal government of Nigeria, keyed into a World Bank and French Development Agency co-finance initiative tagged Rural Access and Mobility Project, Raamp 2.
Niger State is also a very viable partner in this arrangement because the credit and we took over $60 million. So this was expended within a period of 5 years. And that has also translated to the change in the rural landscape of the entire state.
Our overall target is to improve the capacity of our farmers to get the best out of their farms and sell products competitively in the market, which is a prerequisite for sustained rural development.
From the 22nd November 2013 till date, the second Rural Access and Mobility Project Raamp 2 has been implementing a barrage of infrastructural projects to make positive impact on household income, land value, travel time, education systems, and fundamentally healthcare services in the state.
And we also notice high level of maternal mortality due to bad access route.
It is my belief that the expanded access to motorable routes would be reducing the cost of transportation, lifting people out of poverty, and minimizing waste of agricultural produce in the state.
As a means to boost sustainability, droves of heavy machinery have been deployed to different parts of the 3 geopolitical zones of the state, mainly for the provision of rural infrastructure, which is a crucial ingredient for agriculture and agro-industry development, as well as port improvement of selected rural communities, besides providing basic amenities that improve the quality of life in these areas.
The concept of these routes are well-engineered earth routes. So we have to do everything possible to ensure its sustainability, to ensure that the route lasts longer.
Though due to its complexity, rural development takes time to be impactful and felt. A lot has been achieved in phases over the years.
If you target the rural farming community, then you have helped them to be able to get access to extension service, which I'm sure we can easily arrange. The Ministry of Agriculture, some of the universities and so on, they can provide that service to the rural communities. While they remain in the rural communities because of the access road that has been provided, that is supposed to translate into increased productivity.
The implementation process commenced with prioritization of several rural roads obtained from the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs to promote inclusiveness of the grassroots and diversity of the strata in the state. Therefore, supportive strategies for all farmer families in the state were established and adopted.
When you try to embark on the construction of rural roads, we look at so many factors like the population of people living along the corridor of the roads, the agricultural activities being practiced by the people, and so many other factors that were put into consideration. Based on these factors, the consultant will now rearrange this list in order of priority.
So Raamp, under this government of Dr. Abubakar Sadiq Sani Bello, swung into action, having identified some of these locations, and went in to do the feasibility and came up with engineering drafts of how some of the locations or the locality can enjoy from rural routes.
With this institutionalized rural-based development policy in Niger State, many will want to understand what impact the rehabilitation and construction of many rural roads as well as river crossings by the second Rural Access and Mobility Project Raamp 2 has made on the people so far.
The policy on rural roads salvation has been taken seriously by the Niger State government. Why? Because Niger State is an agrarian state. Nooks and crannies of Niger, crops, agricultural produce are being harvested almost every month.
Niger State was one of the 6 states in Nigeria benefiting from the second Rural Access and Mobility Project Raamp 2, funded by the World Bank and the French Agency for International Development.
Community members were mobilized through training, and we even went further to equip them with modern maintenance equipment for them to take ownership of these roads.
Today, farmer families along Kotigi, Dasun, Teshan Hajia, and Doko, Gaba, Sheshi, Rural Road, as well as Patibu Kungi, Jibo, Agbasa, and Wuya Kantin, Etsu, Tasha, Rural Roads, all in Lavon local government area, are benefiting from the project. Representatives of the benefiting rural communities recently expressed appreciation to the federal and state governments, the World Bank, and the Foreign Development Agency on the successes recorded through the Raamp co-finance initiative.
See, like I said, one good turn deserves another. Very much, sir.
Over 200 communities that are benefiting from this road, both directly and indirectly. And also to let you know that this road is the only road that is linking two major trunk A roads. We call on many occasions. There are times when we are going home, we spend 10 hours. And there are times that we sleep in some villages if it's rainy season. We are not ashamed to say that, sir, because we are pleased with what you have done, sir. You have done something that no administration in this of Niger State has done.
Other rural communities that have also legally secured their entitlements to assets such as infrastructure, household income, travel time, and fundamentally connecting of many socio-economic centers in Niger's South Senatorial District include Badegi, Eba, Katerigi, and Wuya, Suman, Lemu in Kacha and Bakpo local government areas respectively. The representatives of these rural communities are equally elated and joyful for the positive impact made on the quality of life in the rural areas.
Agricultural products we do not go to the market due to inability of road access, but now we thank God Almighty and the government of Niger State that by now we have a fresh new bridge in Eba community.
In the past, we used to carry our loads on our heads, but with the construction of this road, the situation has changed for better. We appreciate the governor for the kind gesture.
In Niger East Senatorial District, several rural communities along project routes from Sulu Junction, Daku Bridge to Sabon Diko, all in Tafa local government area, as well as communities along Suleja, Abuchi, Raamp 2 Road in Suleja, and Gurara local government areas, respectively, are also benefiting from the project. Today, clusters of farming communities in Rafi local government area along Pandogari, Basa Raamp 2 Road have access to effective road infrastructure. In the same vein, farmer families along Kuta, Kopwa, Kafa, Lai Rural Road and Shiroro local government area are equally benefiting from government and foreign development agency initiative.
3 to 4 years back, when I was in this village here, if rain fall, I have to follow Izom because I based in Suleja. But with the help of this road and this, especially the bridge, yesterday before yesterday I was in this village. After that heavy rain, I walk peacefully to my home.
We are so happy for it, because the time that we are carrying our loads in head, we are taking to market. We doesn't know that we get this road and carry it with a machine, with a motor.
We are now working with leg again. We are working with a machine, cars now. You understand? But before we are moving with leg based on say we know bike and anything.
We are looking for the road. We never get to road. Even this bridge, when they do it, we are very, very happy. Before we are suffering in this village. Before we carry the load for the Suleja, it's very difficult with the sea motor in this village. Before we need the sea. So we are thank you for that.
The second rural access and mobility project, Raamp 2, has also brought to bear improved living conditions for rural communities living along Bangi to Kasuan Garuba with a spur to Galma Road in Mariga local government area of Niger State. Rural communities along Kampani Bobi, Kasuan Garuba Road in Mariga local government area and Auna, Tungangjika and Shafini Road in Magama local government area of Niger State were also not left out. Agricultural workers residing along Wushishi, Makusidi, Bida Road attested to available access roads to markets, workers to jobs, students to schools, and fundamentally sick persons to hospitals.
I can't say anything more because all the villagers, they have been happy today because of this work that His Excellency have done to us. We are really appreciative for this work.
When rain fall, there is no way you can get inside the market and sell your properties. Your yam, your corn, everything will stay in the house about 2 to 3 markets because of the condition of the road. You cannot get inside the market. And at the same time, when you have a patient in your house, before taking that patient to the hospital, we lost many lives because of that condition.
The road was in a bad shape in the past, and it was difficult for us to get to Jika community until we used boats, especially during rainy season. But since the road was rehabilitated, we are having smooth movement of goods and services.
A colossal amount of money has been committed by the Niger state government, primarily to surface selected Raamp 2 roads across the 3 geopolitical zones of the state as part of efforts to enhance the quality of life in rural areas.
But like we all know, 8 roads will hardly survive 3, 4, 5 rainy seasons. And the government, because of our passion for this, decided to concentrate on this achievement of Raamp to surface dress some of this road to make it last longer. The state government have committed a colossal of about 6 billion to surface just over 250 kilometers of roads in the states.
This is not an ordinary road. This is a road that touches the lives of many people in the rural areas where agricultural activities and commercial activities take place. In the past, for this stretch, it probably would take you a few hours.
Now it has become necessary to take an in-depth examination of the underlying strategies of Governor Abubakar Sani Bello over the years, especially as they affect Raamp 2 road project. Many of the surface dress rural roads have been constructed, completed and commissioned, while the last one will be commissioned in no distant time.
I find this a rare privilege. Commission this road to like
But over the years, we have enjoyed, and personally, as the state project coordinator, I have enjoyed this spirit of teamwork among even my staff. That's also so to the progress we have recorded over the years. And we try as a project to engage competent contractors to carry out some of our contracts.
The governor's efforts are yielding positive results as the transport sector, an important component of the economy, is impacting on the development and welfare of the agricultural workers. Appreciable progress has been recorded owing to support of all critical stakeholders in the implementation process of Raamp 2 project in Niger State.
Raamp in Niger State have linked up over 414 communities. They are already benefiting from this project. We are linking one community to another. So across the state, we have linked over 400 communities.
So that as the connectivity improves, then the productivity by implication of the farmers will increase. Because you have allowed this movement of the farmers themselves from one community to the other. Then you have allowed movement of the extension service and all the farm implements they require to be taken to them.
I must extend my appreciation to the coordinator of Raamp and the Minister of Agriculture for a job well done. They have worked tirelessly day and night to ensure that they embark on this project that touches the lives of the ordinary man and woman.
As a governor whose passionate commitment rests on addressing rural road infrastructure across the 3 geopolitical zones of the state, Governor Sani Bello administration is not resting on its oars.
It is my hope and prayer that this road will last long so that the people of this community will continue to benefit from this road. On a final note, once again, I must thank all the members of this community. I must show appreciation for all the support shown to me over the years.
So that has also earned us commendation from our development partners, and that is why today we have been admitted to participate in the next phase of the project, which is Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project. So as we speak, we are implementing the next phase of Raamp, which is Raamp. This comes with agricultural component.
The Rural Access and Mobility Project Raamp 2 has changed that in Niger State, north-central Nigeria, through the Rural Access and Mobility Project, many communities in Niger State have gained improved road infrastructure that connected them to markets and vital services. Raamp 2 has helped rural agricultural workers to thrive by building and maintaining roads, bridges, and other transportation infrastructures. The project does not stop at the construction of roads and bridges. A new initiative is underway to support agricultural marketing in rural areas. The Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project is working to improve market access for smallholder farmers in rural communities.
The beauty of this Raamp is coming with agricultural component. Because we have opened up these roads, all we intend to do is to also give meaningful value to the lives of our farmers. We'll construct agricultural hubs like modern market across the geopolitical zones of the state.
The project is providing better transportation links and market information, as well as helping farmers to increase their income and improve their livelihoods.
We have two markets in the Zone C geopolitical zone. That's one in Mariga, one in Kaboji. They're moving on to Zone A. We'll have one in Mokwa, and down one will be Agei. And from the Zone B geopolitical zones, we have one international market will be in Lambata and Kuta. So that will have some of this market that will carry some agricultural hubs.
Rural communities are gaining access to resources and opportunities they need to thrive following the implementation of the Rural Access and Mobility Project and the Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project in Niger State, north-central Nigeria.
So there will be modern storage facilities that farmers will also take advantage of. This facility to also store their farm produce there. And within the market, there will be some processing, because these markets are being selected in line with the agricultural value chain of the community.
First, the Federal Project Management Unit of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development engaged an international consultant with proven track records on sector reform, who successfully anchored many road reform programs in Africa and other parts of the world to support the initial 13 Raamp participating states and the recently additional 6 states.
This is a really important issue to consider when you decide on your road sector reform. With these, it was just not very clear, but now we know, we've got the classification, and here they are. And it's very important not just to know each kilometre, it's really important to know who owns each road.
Critical stakeholders, including the project coordinator, Hassan Etsu, spoke on the immense benefits derivable from the project.
So farmers will now have their produce being sold out competitively instead of being hijacked by middlemen. So these are some of the things that we expect to see in this next phase of Raamp.
The Niger State Road Agency and State Road Fund bills were developed under Raamp 2 had since been placed before the State House of Assembly. The training workshop featured question and answer session for better understanding. Indeed, amongst the rural dwellers of Niger State, the Raamp 2 project implementation and the taking off of Raamp in Niger State, north-central Nigeria, have engendered smiles of satisfaction, ambience of joy, and words of prayers and blessing for the present administration in Niger State under His Excellency Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, a visionary leader and administrator par excellence, and a true friend of all, cutting across the gentrified and the mendicant.